Right now at 6, a 42-year-old man faces terrorism charges after stabbing 11 people at a Walmart.
And take a look at this sunrise from 7th and Rangeline in Joplin. Absolutely gorgeous. Our temperatures again, not so much. We'll have a look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, flames engulf 2 vehicles after a crash near Marionville, Missouri.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOA Morning News at 6 a.m. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is now Monday, and it is July the 28th, which also means August this Friday.
It really is. And you know, this summer, the sunrise is so beautiful. There's been so many beautiful sunrises this summer, but this one's really unique looking.
Yeah. You know what? I'll back this up a bit here. Take a look at the one here, 7th and Rangeline from our camera there. It's that little beam, that little streak of light coming up through the clouds, and it just looks absolutely incredible this morning. At least is absolutely right. Despite the heat and some of the nasty weather we have had some just absolutely incredible sunrises out there, and this is just another one of them. And there's that streak of light coming up there on some of those clouds. It just looks amazing this morning. Unfortunately, it doesn't feel amazing now, and it certainly won't a little later. Let's take a look. Our camera downtown Pittsburgh as well. Few clouds out there, and of course it's a slightly different perspective, so we don't see that same beam effect there, but still looks really nice. Modi camera, 20th and Rangeline in Joplin. Looking back to the south, Rangeline again for the time being somewhat empty. Won't take long before it is not, and then you won't be able to see the pavement at all, which might not be a bad thing because the pavement's going to be very hot. Heat advisories, again, the latest of these running until Wednesday evening. Now, some of these are set to expire to southeast Kansas by Tuesday evening, so we'll see exactly what happens if they're extended or not. And then, of course, northeast Oklahoma, northwest Arkansas, the Tulsa office goes day by day. They'll expire at 8 this evening and very likely return for us tomorrow. Our heat indexes over the next few days are going to be in that 105 to 110 degree range, putting us where heat exhaustion is likely and heat stroke is still possible. And of course, for pets, the elderly, for children, and those with certain medical conditions, this heat can be a lot more for them. So just make sure you're checking up on them. And of course, for those of you who do have to work outside, now there's a lot of construction projects going on around the area. Just make sure you are taking care of yourself, staying hydrated, taking breaks, finding shade. You guys know the drill. Unfortunately, you know the drill all too well. So just be safe out there. We're going to have a mix of partly to mostly cloudy skies to start our day. Should have partly cloudy skies by the afternoon, and eventually we'll go mostly clear overnight tonight. Temperatures this morning are just insane at this point. 79 in Joplin and in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, you've come up 2 degrees already this morning. Around the region, the majority of us into the upper 70s, getting close to 80 degrees out there, which is just not pleasant to say the least. And we'll continue to climb as well. Mid 80s by 9 o'clock, low 90s by noon. Mid 90s are where our highs are headed. Southwest winds gusting to 25, and of course heat index values, as I mentioned, 105 to 110. Got a couple more days of this, and then we're going to get a little bit of relief. Mother Nature's finally going to be like, okay, I'm going to help you out here. And we'll talk about that relief here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, a normal trip to a local Walmart in Traverse City, Michigan turned into terror for shoppers. A man entered the store and began attacking people randomly with a knife. 11 people were hurt. The 42-year-old suspect is in custody and awaiting arraignment. Lana Zach is there with new details.
Cell phone video shows witnesses confronting the suspect.
Throw the knife that way.
One with a gun drawn, as others tend to the victims of a stabbing attack inside a Walmart in Traverse City, Michigan on Saturday.
Everyone that came to try to stop him or tackle him, he started slashing, and he cut 9 or 10 people.
42-year-old Bradford Gilley was taken into custody within minutes, according to the sheriff's office.
Mr. Gilley's history shows prior assaultive incidents as well as controlled substance violations. A motive has not yet been determined.
Investigators say Gilley entered the store armed with a 3.5-inch folding knife and waited roughly a half hour before stabbing 11 people in the checkout area. Tonight, hospital officials tell us one of the victims has been discharged and only 2 remain in serious condition.
Our trauma team made special mention of the care that was rendered in the field by witnesses at the scene, but particularly our first responders that arrived on the scene, and the aid that they were able to render, their expertise, their training, their clinical decisions and triage were nothing short of life-saving.
life-saving. They save lives out there.
Yes.
Gilly now faces a terrorism charge and 11 counts of assault with intent to murder. Local prosecutors say he could face a judge as soon as tomorrow.
A husband and wife are murdered while hiking with their young daughters at Devil's Den State Park Saturday afternoon. Clinton David Brink, 43, and Kristen Amanda Brink, 41, were stabbed on the popular Devil's Den Trail. The couple's daughters, ages 7 and 9, were not hurt and are safe with family. The Brinks recently moved to Prairie Grove from another state. Arkansas State Police are searching for a white male suspect, who remains at large. Investigators are asking park visitors and area residents for any images or information about the suspect. The attack happened on the lower portion of the trail in Washington County. Well, 3 people are critically injured after a 2-vehicle crash on US 60 near Marionville yesterday evening. The collision happened just after 5:45 p.m. with both vehicles catching fire. Bystanders pulled the victims to safety before firefighters arrived. Billings Fire responded to assist Marionville with the crash. US 60 remained closed for more than 2 hours as crews worked the scene. 2 medical helicopters landed near the crash to transport the patients. Firefighters from Marionville, Aurora Rural, and Billings extinguished the vehicle fires. And a Wyandotte County Sheriff's deputy is killed in the line of duty Saturday afternoon. Deputy Elijah Ming was shot by a barricaded suspect during a civil standby call. The 34-year-old 7-year veteran was helping a woman move from a home on South 30th Street in Kansas City, Kansas. Ming was rushed to a hospital where he died from his injuries. The suspect, 38-year-old Sean Harris, was wounded in the gunfight and later surrendered. He's hospitalized and is now in good condition. The Kansas Bureau of Investigation is handling the case. Charges against Harris are pending. A garage fire destroys 3 apartments on North Jackson Avenue in Joplin Saturday evening. Joplin fire crews responded to the 300 block just before 5 p.m. The flames reached 30 feet high and spread to nearby trees. Firefighters used a defensive attack to knock down the fire. Multiple fire departments provided mutual aid as temperatures reached 105 degrees. All residents escaped safely from the older home converted into 3 units. The entire structure is a total loss. Smoke from the fire was visible for miles across North Joplin. Met's ambulance set up a relief station for firefighters battling the extreme heat. And of course, be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports. You can always download the KOAM News app, available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. All you have to do, search for the KOAM News app. The American Legion in Miami, Oklahoma has expanded the museum portion of their building, adding new artifacts to honor veterans. KOAM's Mitch Adams visited the museum to find out more.
It's not all local. This stuff comes from across the country.
A newly expanded museum, housed in the Miami American Legion, displays impressive artifacts spanning from the Revolutionary War to conflicts in Afghanistan.
The recent expansion has happened within the last 6 months, where we've added 1,000 square feet to our existing museum that we had. So now we're up to about 2,800 square feet of museum floor space to exhibit.
The expansion aims to honor America's veterans by providing a space where their stories can be told and preserved. It also serves as an educational tool, offering the public a first-hand look at the realities of war through the belongings of those who lived it.
Part of the history of keeping this history alive, well, I got a lot of cool stuff. I have sand here from the Normandy Beach that people have taken, that had actually brought back to me from Normandy Beach. I have various medals of different soldiers, and I've got uniforms from World War I. I have money from the Revolutionary War from 1782. I have a sixpence here. That's the oldest piece in the museum right now, is a sixpence from 1782.
Each exhibit tells a story of bravery, sacrifice, and the enduring spirit of those who have served.
I've got to talk to a lot of people, watch their faces, and tell me that they did not know this even existed. So it is quite a really proud moment that the work we put in is finally starting to get where they can see some of the stuff that we have.
Reporting in Miami, Oklahoma, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
The museum is now open to the public for tours by appointment. Tours can be scheduled by reaching out to the Miami American Legion. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, a $600 billion investment heads to the U.S. economy. The new EU trade deal also includes massive energy purchases. We'll have the latest. Plus, new research reveals how grief affects your lifespan. And high temperatures continue right here in the 4 states. Chris returns with another look at your forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. The time now, 6:10. We'll be right back. Well, topping Nation Watch, the U.S. and European Union have a new trade deal. President Donald Trump and European Commission President announcing the framework for a major trade deal yesterday in Scotland. Ahead of the meeting, Trump was threatening a 30% tariff on EU goods if a deal wasn't struck. Jen Sullivan has details on the meeting.
Well, thank you very much. The U.S. and European Union have struck a trade deal. President Donald Trump and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen announcing the deal Sunday in Scotland.
I think it's going to be great for both parties.
Heading into the negotiations, President Trump criticized the U.S.'s relationship with the EU, saying their current trade agreement was one-sided and unfair to the U.S.
We wanted to rebalance the trade relation, and we wanted to do it in a way that trade goes on.
Under the new trade deal, the EU has agreed to purchase $750 billion worth of energy from the U.S. and invest an additional $600 billion into the U.S. economy.
It's the biggest of all the deals.
President Trump had given the EU until August 1st to strike a deal or face 30% tariffs. Instead, this new deal puts a 15% tariff on imports. The EU, which is made up of 27 countries, is one of the U.S.'s top trading blocs. The U.S. imported more than $600 billion worth of products last year from the EU.
The two biggest economies should have a good trade flow between us.
Since tariffs were first implemented in the spring, inflation has ticked up in the U.S. Prices in June rose by 0.3%, according to the Consumer Price Index report, which measures the price change for a variety of items month to month.
Well, I think it's a win domestically because he's obviously gotten something that previous presidents had not.
The Trump administration says the 15% tariff will take effect August 1st.
Well, President Trump will meet with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer later today. And still to come, one coach shows up with energy no matter how late the game runs. We'll meet the man whose daily challenges inspire his father and teammates. Plus, Chris returns with another look at your Monday forecast from the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Well, he doesn't carry a bat or glove, but he's a game changer. Coy Tomlin coaches the Tom Sox while living with autism. See how he transforms the team.
One more.
If you've been to a Tom Sox game, it's hard to miss Coy Tomlin, running around the ballpark or calling out some umpires.
Ball, thank you.
He's the pitching coach for the Tom Sox and the son of head coach Randy Tomlin.
What's your favorite part about coaching?
Pitching search.
Your pitching calls?
Yes.
Coy was diagnosed with autism at an early age, but that didn't stop Randy and his wife from wanting to give him the best life.
He joins us, whatever I do, he's in my pocket, and he wants to be a part of everything.
From hitting homers in the backyard to following around his dad throughout his coaching career, baseball was a language Coy always spoke.
Did this?
The best thing we could ever have done is to get into his world, and his world is trying to get into ours. If you would just kind of let him do and see the things he enjoys doing, and you join with him, he opens up.
The players on the team have done the same, feeding off his presence.
I think it honestly brings a little more juice. Like, it fires up the bullpen a lot, and typically the bullpen kind of guide the way the game goes with the energy and everything. So Coy does a great job at getting them going.
Coy always brings that energy, no matter how late the game goes.
Yeah, last night he was sitting around jumping in the extra innings like midnight. I'm sitting there trying to go bed on the chair, and he's jumping around happy.
He may not have a bat or glove, but he's a game changer in his own way.
If Koi's like that every single day, what excuse do I have? You know, no matter what challenges I'm facing here on this baseball field, and every day, I mean, Koi has it every day of his life, but yet he wakes up every day the same.
Hey.
Break us down. Break us down, Koi. Break us down.
What when I say? Tom Sox. 1, 2, 3.
Tom Sox.
What an incredible inspiration. So great to see. Let's head over now to Chris for a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, certainly an impressive story and an impressive sunrise this morning. A few birds going by from downtown Pittsburgh. Temperatures not so impressive. Still dangerously hot in some cases, especially with our heat index values. Relief is on the way, though. We'll break down those details for you when the KOAM Morning News return. Time now is 6:21. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 6:23 on this Wednesday morning. Quick look at the future track. The reason we're starting with the future track, also the reason it's starting Wednesday, is because between here and there, not much going on, but by Wednesday, changes begin to arrive. Now, as early as maybe even 3 o'clock in the afternoon, could start getting a few isolated pop-up showers and storms, mainly along and east of I-49. Now, I also want to emphasize we're a couple of days out. Things are very likely going to change a bit, but the good news is regardless of the changes, we're still looking at some relief being on the way as we head toward the end of this week. Now, by the afternoon and evening, we get a thunderstorm complex pushing in from the northwest. This is the current thinking here. By 5 o'clock, it's in the parts of Greenwood County, Coffee County, just outside of Yates Center. And as it pushes through, it moves very quickly. Now, right now, and the reason I'm talking about this, you'll see in a moment, we don't have any severe risk areas or even strong thunderstorm risk areas highlighted for Wednesday into Thursday yet. Could that change? It's a possibility. And look at future track right now. It suggests that's certainly something that could be a possibility. But again, things can change. But we're looking at thunderstorms racing into the area here by 8 o'clock. We're making it from up by Eureka all the way out to Fort Scott near Pittsburgh, stretching back down toward Columbus with this complex of showers and thunderstorms out there. So by 8, it's Chanute, Parsons, Oswego, Columbus, Pittsburgh, Fort Scott, Girard. I kind of get the idea here through most of southeast Kansas and parts of northeastern Oklahoma. It pushes southeast, so eventually by 9 o'clock or so, it's now on the I-49 or 44 corridor rather. So we're talking Miami, then eventually down toward Grove, and by 10, it's now on the Missouri side for the most part. So Lamar, Jasper, Joplin, Carthage, Neosho, Anderson, Pineville, Goodman, and maybe as far east as Mount Vernon and Monette by 10 o'clock. And after that, it pushes on out. By 1 o'clock in the morning, got a few lingering showers and storms. That's one possible scenario that we're looking at as we get a cold front that's going to approach. Now, it's a summertime cold front, so it doesn't cause our temperatures to plummet, unfortunately, but it does bring in some relief for us. Between here and there, though, we still have heat index values today, 105 to 110. Our heat index values for Tuesday, 105 to 110. Our heat index values for Wednesday, 105 to 110, still as a possibility. So dangerous heat continues. But we have our heat advisories, most of them at least, expiring by Wednesday. And here's why. Look at Thursday, what happens. That cold front starts to approach. No heat index values in our northern counties. And down south, along and south of I-44, still a bit on the hot and muggy side. But as that cold front continues to sink through, it brings in some additional thunderstorm chances, and it brings in some slightly drier, cooler air that will help bring our temperatures a little closer to normal. So again, heat advisories everywhere. The latest of these run through Wednesday. These ones set to expire Tuesday evening. And then Oklahoma, of course, Tulsa goes day by day, so we'll see how often they reissue them. And a reminder as well, KOAMNewsNow.com/forecast. You'll find a number of extreme heat health safety tips out there for yourself, your pets, differences between heat exhaustion and heat stroke. Lots of great resources out there, and we'll have them on our site in our forecast page until this extreme heat passes. A mix of partly to mostly cloudy skies this morning. Beautiful sunrise still, by the way. Low 80s by 8, near 90 by 11 o'clock this morning. Partly cloudy skies through the afternoon, breezy. Southwest winds gusting to 25, highs into the mid-90s. I'll have skies gradually clearing through the evening, still very warm, mid-80s by 10 and upper 70s overnight tonight for our lows. So nowhere near where we should be, and no real relief from the heat overnight as well. Hotter tomorrow into Wednesday, upper 90s getting close to 100. Thunderstorm chances start building in late Wednesday through at least Monday. At these temperatures, they're still hot, but they are seasonably hot as they hang out in the upper 80s and low 90s, and our heat index values should drop for a few days as well. Let's check your forecast. We're going to send it over to Elise now with Health Watch.
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, the COVID vaccine prevented an estimated 2.5 billion deaths worldwide. Scientists in Italy and at Stanford University looked at data worldwide from 2020 to 2024 and found a significant benefit for vaccination. They also found that the majority of the lives saved by COVID-19 vaccination were people ages 60 and older. Well, it takes an average of 3.5 years to diagnose dementia after the first symptoms are noticed. A study by University College London found more needs to be done to raise public awareness so people recognize the early symptoms of dementia and see a doctor. Timely diagnosis can improve access to treatments and prolong the time people have before dementia comes severe. And experiencing the grief of losing a loved one can take years off of your life. A study published in Frontiers found bereaved people with persistent high levels of grief were more likely to die within 10 years of their loved ones. Researchers aren't sure why grief may raise mortality rates, but there is a link between high levels of grief and cardiovascular disease and mental health problems. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back with more news and weather right after this. Right now at 6:30, the Anvil Axe Company brings blade throwing competition to our area over the weekend.
And we've got a beautiful start to the day, at least in terms of the sunrise this morning. Our temperature's not so nice, though. A look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, young performers gain more than stage experience at Rising Stars Camp. They're learning teamwork, making friends, and building confidence.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:32. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. It's now Monday. It is July the 28th.
Yes, here we are.
Just a few days left of this month, and then we're in
by.
August.
It really is.
Kids, it's a reminder. School starts soon. Just a few more weeks for some of you out there as we're getting closer to school starting. And it's still hot. So at least for now, it still feels like summer vacation. Just not one you can really enjoy outside all that much right now. But there's some relief on the way, which we'll talk about a little later. But first, let's get your Monday started with a live look from downtown Pittsburgh. Got a few clouds out there, and as you can see, it's given us, of course, another beautiful sunrise across the region. MoDOT camera 20th and range line in Joplin, looking back to the south. You can see a few clouds down to the south there as well. And we'll have a mix of partly to mostly cloudy skies through the morning. Heat advisories everywhere. And the latest of these run through Wednesday. So again, there's 5 different weather service offices that cover us here, and here they run through Wednesday. Out here, they run through Tuesday, and of course in Oklahoma and Arkansas, Tulsa office goes day by day. So they'll expire at 8 this evening and go back into effect for us on our Tuesday. We are unfortunately at a higher level of that heat index. We're looking at 105 to 110 degree heat index values over the next few days, leaving us where heat exhaustion is likely, heat strokes possible. I know some folks out there, you have to work outside. That's part of your job. You can't build the new roadway in your living room. If you could, you probably would, but you can't. So you got to stay hydrated, take breaks, make sure you're taking care of yourself. And of course, for everyone else, make sure you're just checking on the pets, the kids, the elderly. Keep the pets, the kids inside. Make sure the elderly are doing okay. And of course, those with certain medical conditions, those might be a little more susceptible to this kind of heat. Maybe it hurts them a little more, bothers them a little more. Just take care of each other out there, and of course, take care of yourselves. So there's that mix, partly to mostly cloudy skies. Then we'll just go partly cloudy by the afternoon, eventually mostly clear late this evening and overnight. And we'll, of course, still be very warm. 79, both Joplin and Pittsburgh. Joplin's been at 79 virtually all morning long. Around the region, the majority of us into the upper 70s. Again, some of us pretty close to 80 degrees out there. Cooler spots, Monette, Cassville, both at 74. Not like that's a huge difference, but hey, at least it's not near 80 at this time of day. Mid-80s by 9, low 90s by noon. We'll cruise into the mid-90s for our highs today. Southwest winds gusting to 25. And as I mentioned, our heat index values, 105 to 110 degrees. We got to deal with the heat today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. That's why some of those advisories run through Wednesday. Then some changes are on the way, and we'll break down those details for you here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, Allen County had their own celebrations happening last week. Part of the Allen County Fair was the Peddlers Craft Fair, local artisans showcasing and selling their works.
Last year on our first craft fair, we had 12 vendors. This is our second year and we have 45. So I think we're going in the right direction. So we can get the community to support us and come out and enjoy themselves. There's plenty of activities for free. One of our main goals is getting sponsorships and things donated for everybody to participate without having to spend an arm and leg to do so.
This is the second year the Peddlers Craft Fair has taken place. And the Annabelle Axe Company hosted an axe and knife throwing tournament over the weekend. The event is geared towards all people, whether you're a seasoned thrower or a beginner. Events included hatchet, big axe, hatchet duels, knife, and knife duels.
What's nice about it is we have some really competitive throwers right here in our axe house. And so we had 4 of our competitors go to the World Championship. So we competed at a very high level. However, it's built for a recreational crowd as well.
The tournament wrapped up yesterday. And now, of course, you can stay up to date with the latest news, weather, and sports with the KOAM Plus TV streaming app, available on Amazon Fire TV, Android TV, Apple TV Plus, and Roku. It's also available on our news and weather apps and the website as well. You can watch live streaming anytime, absolutely free, the KOAM Plus TV streaming app. Young performers are learning more than just acting at the Rising Stars Theater Camp in Pittsburgh. KOAM's Mitch Adams visited the camp and brings us more about the upcoming production.
Creativity takes center stage at the Rising Stars Camp this month. Young performers are hard at work, not only learning their lines and perfecting their acting technique, but also gaining valuable life skills.
We wanted the ages to be 13 through 18, so it didn't matter, what grade they were in, just as long as they were in the age range. And I sat down with the Pitt State Theater staff, and we kind of worked something out and talked to Shauna here at the Bicknell, and we found this beautiful collaboration.
The Rising Stars Camp fosters a sense of community where kids from different schools come together, forming friendships and learning to collaborate in a creative environment.
And we really wanted there to be something more for kids of this age group to do, because these kids are from all over, which is really exciting. They're not all from the same school, so it gives them an opportunity to collaborate with other kids that they can't during the school year and their school shows.
As these young performers prepare for Beetlejuice Jr., they carry with them new skills, friendships, and memories that will last a lifetime.
As much as I love my high school back home, it's great to perform with other people who maybe have different ways of going about things and teaching you things that maybe you wouldn't have ever found out if you hadn't come and done community theater. And just a lot of the friendships that you make, it kind of widens your social aspects.
Reporting in Pittsburgh, Kansas, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
Beetlejuice Jr. will be showing August 1st and 2nd. Tickets for the show will be available for purchase at the door for $12. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Trade talks move from the EU to China as negotiations continue. U.S. and Chinese officials gather in Sweden today. Plus, women's sports cards reach new heights with a record sale. We'll have the latest. Time now, 6:38. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. In Consumer Watch, after President Trump announced a trade deal with the EU over the weekend, China is up next at the negotiating table. U.S. and Chinese officials are holding talks in Stockholm, Sweden today, their third meeting this year. The Trump administration had proposed tariffs of up to 145% on Chinese goods, but the president says a deal is close at hand. I signed a 2024 rookie WNBA card of Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark has shattered a record, selling for $660,000. That beats the previous high for a woman's card. Also, Clark sold in March for $366,000. Now, she's been sidelined for several weeks due to an injury, and there's no timeline yet for her return. And the Fantastic Four first steps shot to the top of the box office this weekend, raking in $118 million in North America. That's the fourth biggest opening of the year, pushing Superman into the second spot after 2 weekends at number 1. Jurassic World Rebirth finished third with 13 million. And that's it for Consumer Watch this morning. Let's head over now to Chris for another look at the forecast.
Yeah, it's again going to be another hot and unpleasant day out there. But as mentioned, we do have some relief on the way. We're going to talk more about what changes are upcoming and how much longer this heat will last when the KOAM Morning News returns. Time now, 6:42. Time now for those Monday birthdays in the 4 states, and we're going to start in Nevada with Fisher Kate Hirschman celebrating birthday number 3. Says happy birthday, love mommy, daddy, and Rory.
And in Riverton, a happy 7th birthday to Katiana Bond. It says happy birthday from your family.
And in Jasper, Jace Fosdick celebrating birthday number 8 today with love from Grandma and Grandpa.
And happy 14th birthday to Miller Tatum in Joplin. It says here, happy birthday from your family.
And we've got Jackson Hamilton celebrating birthday number 17 today. Very happy birthday to you, Jackson.
And in Jasper, happy 22nd birthday to Braden Rush.
And we've got Nakia Lamb celebrating birthday number 24. Says happy birthday, Princess. Aunt Casey loves you.
Heading back to Jasper, happy 40th birthday to Amanda Fosdick.
And Randy Triber, celebrating birthday number 41 in Chanute. It says, love you from Mom, Carrie, Emma, Ma, and Pa.
And in Arma, a happy 42nd birthday to George O'Banion. It says here, happy birthday to my firstborn. Mama loves you very much.
And in Jasper, Gideon Buchanan celebrating birthday number 47 today. Happy birthday, Gideon.
Happy 55th birthday to Sean Wheeler in Fort Scott.
And in Moran, Rob Stroud celebrating birthday number 57 today. And take a look at that catch of the day there. Very happy birthday to you, Rob.
And in Twins celebrating their 83rd birthday, we have Robert Robb and Irene Hood and Devin and Fort Scott. Happy birthday to you both.
And we've got an anniversary as well. Jennifer and Michael O'Banion in Pittsburgh celebrating their 20th year of wedded bliss. A very happy anniversary to the O'Banions.
And last but not least, in Columbus, a happy 63rd birthday to Susie Natalini.
All right, that was a fantastic list of birthdays and anniversaries. And of course, we love when these lists are long because we love celebrating with you and we love sharing your special day. And if you want to share your special day, Elise has information that you need to know.
Yes, please submit your birthdays and those anniversaries to birthdays@koamnewsnow.com. Be sure to include those wonderful photos and messages to, of course, meet the deadline that you see there at the bottom of your screen. And to also, please include the date of your celebration when submitting as well.
Of course, very important information there. And we've got some good news on the weather horizon here. We've got a few days to get there. But once we get there, it's going to be a lot nicer. Okay, maybe not a lot. It'll be better, though. We're going to start our feature track Wednesday. And the reason we're starting Wednesday is because today and tomorrow, really not expecting much out there whatsoever, other than some clouds and, of course, the dangerous heat. Now, the dangerous heat continues through Wednesday. In fact, some of our heat advisories will run through Wednesday evening. But the reason the latest of these at this point stop Wednesday evening is because things are going to start to change a bit for us. As we roll into Wednesday afternoon, now there's some different scenarios that could play out. We're going to show you one of them here. We're still a couple of days out. Things could change a bit, but one way or the other, we're looking at changes, and we're looking at good changes at that. By 3, could start getting some isolated pop-up showers and storms, looking to be mainly along and east of the I-49 corridor through the afternoon and evening hours. Late evening, thunderstorm complex off to our northwest starts working in. So here we are, Greenwood County, so Eureka stretching back just southwest of Burlington into Coffee County. By 5, we have this thunderstorm complex, and again, some isolated shower storms still possible ahead of this. This thing, though, look how fast it moves. In just, 3 hours' time, we get from Eureka all the way to Fort Scott, Pittsburgh, Columbus. And this complex also expands a bit. So by 8, we've got, as I mentioned, Fort Scott, we've got Pittsburgh, we've got Girard, maybe Columbus, Parsons, Oswego, Chanute, Iola. We're talking about these thunderstorms. Now, right now, I know what it looks like on Future Track. That's a lot of dark reds. That doesn't always mean severe weather. does indicate heavy rain. We don't have any severe risk areas highlighted at this time for late Wednesday into Thursday. If that changes, we'll let you know. But one way or the other, we get thunderstorms rolling through. And said thanks to a cold front that's going to push by, it won't drop our temperature significantly, but by golly, it'll sure help. By 9, this line moves into northeastern Oklahoma, so Miami down to Veneta, eventually toward Grove by about 9 o'clock. By 10, mostly on the Missouri side. Nevada, Lamar, or south of Nevada rather, Lamar, Jasper, Joplin, Carthage, Neosho, Anderson, Seneca. You get the idea. Maybe even as far east as Monette, Mount Vernon by 10 o'clock Wednesday. By about 1 a.m. Thursday, it's gone, so it's out of here and leaving just a few lingering showers and storms behind it, and those storms will trigger another round of just scattered storms from Wednesday into next Monday. Between here and there, though, this is just terrible. And honestly, in the serious side of things, it is potentially dangerous heat here. We're still looking at heat index values today, 105 to 110. We go into our Tuesday, heat index values once again, 105, upwards of 110. Heat index values Wednesday, and again, 105, upwards of 110. But then Thursday, things change. Now, it's a gradual change because the cold front has to push through the whole area. So some of you will start to feel things a little nicer earlier than others. But take a look at our heat index values by Thursday. Peak heating around 5 o'clock. Look at this, mid-upper 80s, 90s. Now you get a little further south, we start getting into the upper 90s and back into the triple digits. Not as hot, but still potentially dangerous out there. But that's because of this cold front sinking through on Thursday that, again, will bring some isolated to scattered storms with it, and it brings in some slightly cooler, slightly drier air for us. Between here and there, though, as mentioned, heat advisories for everyone. Across the region. All the different weather offices, when it comes to things like heat advisories or winter storm warnings, winter storm watches, anything that's local and can affect a smaller area, the local offices control these things. When it comes to like severe thunderstorm watches, tornado watches, things like that, those are controlled from Storm Prediction Center in Norman. So these all expire at different times, but regardless, the latest of them run through at least Wednesday evening, about 7, 8 o'clock. So between here and there, also, as long as the extreme heat's sticking around, a reminder that on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com, you click on the forecast page or just enter /forecast. It'll take you to our forecast, and we'll also have a number of extreme heat safety tips. We've got a great graphic explainer we've talked about before. It gives you the difference between heat exhaustion, heat stroke, and just some safety tips out there because pets, children, elderly, susceptible to this kind of heat, and of course those with certain medical conditions, this type of heat can bother them as well. And again, it's going to be on our website so long as the heat lasts. Got a pretty decent sunrise. You can see some clouds out there starting to build in. A mix of partly to mostly cloudy skies through the morning. Low 80s by 8 and near 90 by 11 o'clock this morning. So another hot one for us again. We'll have another look at your forecast here in just a moment, as well as your wake up recap. And when we switch over to Fox 14 at 7 a.m., or of course, if you're streaming on KOAM Plus, you don't have to do anything. And we're going to see how one day of lemonade sales is bringing sweet relief to Hill Country flood victims.
This is your wake up recap for July 28th. The top stories to start your day. A garage fire destroys 3 apartments on North Jackson Avenue in North Heights Saturday evening. The flames reached 30 feet high and spread to nearby trees. All residents escaped safely from the older home converted into 3 units. The entire structure is a total loss. Smoke from the fire was visible for miles across North Joplin. 3 people are critically injured after a 2-vehicle crash on US 60 near Marionville yesterday evening. The collision happened just after 5:45 p.m. with both vehicles catching fire. Bystanders pulled the victim to safety before firefighters arrived. US 60 remained closed for more than 2 hours as crews worked the scene. And a Wyandotte County Sheriff's Deputy Elijah Ming is killed in the line of duty Saturday afternoon. Ming was shot by a barricaded suspect during a civil standby call. The 34-year-old 7-year veteran was helping a woman move from a home on South 30th Street in Kansas City, Kansas. Ming was rushed to a hospital where he died from his injuries. The suspect, 38-year-old Sean Harris, was wounded in the gunfight and later surrendered. Charges against Harris are pending. And that's a check of today's Wake Up Recap.
And again, heat advisories continuing through Wednesday. Mid-90s today, breezy southwest winds gusting to 25. Partly cloudy and heat index values between now and Wednesday, 105 to 110 degrees out there. Skies clearing a bit late this evening, mid-80s by 10, upper 70s overnight, and south winds 5 to 10. Tomorrow, still hot, upper 90s near 100. Then by late Wednesday, showers, thunderstorms begin building in. Cold front comes in as well, brings our temperatures back down to seasonable levels, upper 80s, low 90s, with rain chances continuing through Monday. So just 2 or 3 more days.
Right.
We're finally going to get a break from this heat.
Looks a lot better. Well, coming up today at noon, we're making blueberry lemonade in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. The stars of the love story My Oxford Year, based on the best-selling novel of the same name, join the CBS Morning crew. And in Begno's America, David once again shares inspiring stories from his Dear David mailbag.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues this morning. The Baxter Springs Saddle Club celebrates 57 years of rodeo tradition as cowboys and cowgirls from multiple states compete this weekend.
Plus, players say he brings the juice to every game. Coy Tomlin coaches with autism and unlimited enthusiasm. Discover how he fires up the Tom Sox bullpen. However, it's going to wrap things up for us for now. We'll be back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.